what might happen here. We've been sitting vacant for well over 25 years. So, we as a community cannot thank you enough for, how you cared for this building and restored it to, the great, as I say, granddam of Guerneville that it has been and is meant to be. So, really from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. And Crista, I know Crista was a large part of this endeavor, so, we owe a huge amount of gratitude for you guys for lovingly restored.
Week there, I traveled to all these different places and Yosemite and driving around, and when I drove through the Russian River, I was like, oh my God, this is like one of the most idyllic, beautiful places. Like I grew up as a child I grew up in a small town in South Carolina, and we would go to the lake in the summer, and driving through here, I was like, oh my God, this is like the most perfectly art-directed place with water and things that you can do in the river and things like that. And so it always held a special place, and I saw this building. It reminded me of my hometown in South Carolina, and reminded me of where I grew up, and the Guerneville always stuck with me. And in 2000, I bought a house here, and have been coming up here since then. And the building has always been an empty place, and just thought it would be. A friend of mine told me it was on the market, and I just was like, oh well, let me see what I can do. And fortunately, I was able to do this. It's sort of a little culmination of I've been at my last job for 20 years doing creative direction and design, and I felt like this would be an amazing project to put my energy into. And I always thought that this building was sort of like the City Hall of Guerneville, and deserved to be a place that everybody could come into and have something. When I initially bought it, somebody's like, oh, so-and-so wants to come in there. But I was like, this place needed to have a lot of variety. It was a place that it naturally broke out into spaces. So I immediately talked to Crista because, and actually for what Crista has done for Guerneville, it made me feel comfortable with investing and all the time and effort that she's put into the town of Guerneville and all of her wonderful businesses, and I immediately went to her because I was like, what would be great here? And she was like, ice cream. I started looking at old historical photographs, and getting ice cream and pie and things like that were part of rituals of the past. And I think through the, we just discussed things like, oh, it'd be great to do this, and little did we know later it ended up being a sort of a multi-space idea, and was just very excited that it's all turned out the way it has. And and anyway, it was important to have just that connection to the past. People come into the building, you're in a mode of like seeing a historical building, so it was important. I joined the Russian River Historical Society as a member several years ago, and I was like, they have to be a part of this. And there's so much wonderful, rich history. If we can touch people with a little bit when they come in to sort of take away and learn about the past of America, and seeing quality things that were made here, and trying to kind of bring that forward with like having quality things that are made now in a contemporary way, whether it's food or clothing or art, and also wanting to include an art gallery that would bring artists into town, and use my house here as a place where people could come and create art. Just been creative with my spaces, but anyway, long story short, really wanting to kind of bring forward the historical side of the building, and letting it be a place that people want to spend time in and take away a little piece of history with them. And I'll shut up now, but I want to talk about, just give all the people that helped me credit for all of the things that they've done with me here. Frank Castaldini and Suzanne Ash my initial contact of people who are the real estate agents that help me with everything. I couldn't have done anything, of course. I've just mentioned Crista. Crista was my partner, helping me with the renovation and helping me with the tenant ID, with all the ideas of bringing people in and talking to everyone and sort of working all that out. I would have been lost. This wouldn't have happened in a year without Crista.
I just want to jump in and I'll turn it back over to Bob, but the first day Bob closed escrow, we had him over to Boone and we shared a little champagne, and he said, I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. And I said, don't worry, I'll help you. When it went on the market that first day, my phone blew up and everyone texted and said, are you going to buy the bank building? And I said, no, I've got plenty on my plate. But I met Bob and he was absolutely the right person to take on this project. Yeah. And it's been such a joy to work with him. He's actually lived at my house for part of the time during it when his house was rented. And we've become really great partners, and we barely fought. I chose my battles, but he did what was right with the building. He really honored it, and what was most important was to make sure that it could be a space really that was enjoyed by all. One of the key things that I think was really what made it happen so quickly is we really pioneered through the permit process with the help of Efren, and the fact that I've gone through it so many times with my spaces. So many people were kind of naysayers in the beginning, oh, you need to do this and you need to do this, and I said, Bob, we're going to do this. And we walked in there, marched in with our plans, and we made it happen. And he's just been rock solid, working nonstop, and I know he's going to talk a little bit about the tenants, but I can't wait for you guys to meet him. We'll bring him up here when we do the ribbon cutting, but all dear friends of mine that I helped sort of curate and put together. That was one of my roles with Bob, was I said, I'll work with you on getting the right people in here who really honor the space and really will bring to life what we want, which is the community to all have a place to enjoy, whether you're 5 years old or you're 80 years old. There's something in this building.